In 5, 4.
4, 3, 2.
What's happening?
Welcome to the Is This Entertainment podcast. For all of your podcasting entertainment needs,
This is-
Jacob and Ben are here for you.
Yeah, it's actually episode 33, so we'll get to talk into the. We might go a little bit into the significance of that number.
Because that's when Jesus was crucified at the age of 33.
Sure. Yeah.
No,
Yes and no. Yeah.
that's not where you're going for.
It's a number, one of the numbers that comes up in like occult studies, and several numbers that come up.
Man, not even a minute in.
Yep, didn't even
Not even
click off now. Occult, which means hidden knowledge.
a cult.
And on that note, welcome to the Star Wars: The Clone Wars / The Bad Batch review. Yes,
Bad Batch Season 1 / Clone Wars Season 8.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
That was a fun title reveal. That was fun. Where that Clone Wars
Like
title
the-
melted away,
Yeah, the graphic or whatever.
burnt up. Yeah.
What's interesting on the Disney Plus, they're like, "Do you want to?" The little skip intro button comes up, and the intro is 3 seconds tops, and they're like,
at least you
"Skip intro."
You get
I'm
the
like-
button. I don't get the button. Like, I have to rewatch the episode. I have to rewind the whole thing or fast forward to the end. Like, it just doesn't. It's the worst thing on Vizio. It's the
man.
worst Vizio app.
Yeah, no, I get that skip intro, and I'm just like, why would I?
Skip this.
What if-
it's
if-
3 seconds.
Like, if it has to buffer to skip ahead, then I've lost this
You
time.
lost time. Yeah. And you
Now,
didn't get to see it.
when I'm watching The Nanny starring Fran Drescher on the HBO Max, which we've already talked about on this episode or on this podcast, so please feel free to go back and listen to the sitcoms episode.
Yeah, we had an episode about that.
When
And,
The Nanny comes on and it's like, duh, I'm like so quick on that skip intro button because that song is so catchy. It stays in my head for days. Just me humming that little tune just now is going to stick with me for the next 2.5 days. I'm going to have to listen to so much Beatles or Radiohead to get that out because
how
she was working in a bar shop at Flashing Queens till the boyfriend kicked her out in one of those crushing scenes.
you know how you can do on YouTube? You can do like don't recommend channel. That's probably what I did to The Nanny. That's
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Don't recommend channel.
I tell you what, man, the jokes are so topical. Not all of them, but there's a handful of like incredibly topical jokes for 1994 in there that it's just generic Clinton joke, generic OJ joke. There was literally the Trumps get brought up every other episode because the dude is like the guy's rich. So just something about one of the daughters being in a class with Ivanka, or you have a meeting at Trump Tower. Like the Trump name gets dropped at least every other episode.
Wow.
It's fascinating.
Isn't it a little creepy, or is it just
No, it's just like funny in the context of now versus the
Right,
context of
right.
then. Just like
mean, he had
what that means then. Would I have noticed it so much then? Because at the time, it's just Trump synonymous with rich guy, like lifestyles of the rich and famous type. Whereas now it's so much more loaded.
Yeah, he's always had a strong public relations team, even though he's not selling like actors.
It's not,
but like,
it's not like,
he's like a PR team.
he's selling.
Yeah.
Any of us are buying.
No, yeah.
Aside from like when The Apprentice came out. Like he wasn't selling anything to us. It's not like it's not like it's Amazon where everybody's buying Amazon stuff.
I guess at a certain point, if you're that wealthy, you're like, hey, I just want everybody to know who I am. I'll just spend millions of dollars with PR firms.
Oh, if there's anything that we could bet on, it's Trump's vanity.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, not gonna put that past him. He's definitely an actor.
100%.
Yeah, he's an actor without a show. Yeah. What are we talking about here? Let's not go.
The
into
Bad
politics.
Batch.
Yeah,
The Bad
you don't
Batch.
wanna hear my
So
views
yeah,
on that either.
we all got there through me skipping or not skipping the 2-second intro because it doesn't matter. It's 2 seconds long. But yeah, no, the title card with the like burned out
Yeah.
Clone Wars
That was
into the
fun.
Bad Batch. That's nice.
Yeah, and they're
So
up
at this
in
point,
the-
we are 5 episodes in.
Yeah, and
to
they're up
this
in the
show.
graphics. I think they're like kind of on Xbox One graphics now.
It's
They're getting there.
this last episode because they were in that like desert rock space. it made me think of The Mandalorian.
Mm.
And I was like, this isn't that far from what they get when they film in, what's that place called?
The Volume.
It's not the Void.
The Volume.
The Volume. Yeah. It's really not so dissimilar. Like, we're only like a couple of jumps away.
Yeah, and the stuff they can do in real time, like it's up there. Yeah, the Volume does it in real time, but there's no reason that these animated shows can't evolve into that, which is going to be weird, because you'll be seeing like a photorealistic Obi-Wan next to an Obi-Wan or whatever. Yeah, this weird. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go.
What was that? It was that Final Fantasy movie.
Yeah,
was where it was just like a little too uncanny valley.
But that was a long time ago. Think about when that came out. That came out in like 1990. I think they had to put together like rooms of graphics processors like to make that movie. Like it was like, like buildings full of processors. Like the Final Fantasy guy, the creator was just like, I want to make a movie. Like he had all this money for making all these games. So
I'm sure if we watched it now, the graphics are probably, they have to be less stellar than like even what we're watching in the Bad Batch. But I think because they were going for that photorealistic, I don't know.
Yeah, they look pretty good. It's just, you're right. It was like they didn't quite. It's always something with the eyes.
Yeah, it's the Polar Express, man. Yeah.
I don't know why they can't get the eyes right.
To Polar Express for doing a thing that no one else could do. Making Tom Hanks super creepy. America's Dad, making him creepy.
That's funny. That's funny on so many levels. Yeah, let's go in the first episode.
Yes, first episode.
Did we know? I guess we knew this before because there was a Bad Batch series of episodes in the Clone Wars. So we knew they were part of, it's not Order 66. It was or 99. It's what is it?
What? Order 66 is
Team 99 or whatever. They're in Squad.
Yeah.
What are the odds that they're in Squad 99 and they're supposed to what am I trying to say? They're supposed to
execute Order 66?
Order 66, yes. And yeah, it's holy F. And here we are on episode 33. So what is happening? So these numbers...
It's going to turn into that Jim Carrey number 23 movie.
Probably. People haven't clicked off yet. I don't know. They will.
Either that or like Pi or something.
No, but these numbers have significance in the occult teachings and just like in the Bible, for instance, like 66. Like the opposite, the parallels are obvious, at this point. Like they're in our face constantly in this show and in the Star Wars universe. I don't know at what point are we supposed to talk about it? Are we not just supposed to be like, oh yeah, it's just a coincidence? You know what I mean?
Look, man, coincidences happen. And let's talk about this. There are certain things that are visually appealing to the human brain. So like, you know how Facebook will hit you on the algorithm with the look how satisfying this person power washing their driveway and like seeing like that, you see like the concrete just get clean in like little lines and then all of a sudden.
But do you think that's what this is?
I think that's part of it.
You don't think it has anything to do? Tesla said the secret to the universe is 3, 6, and 9. I'm just saying. He was a smart man. He was a smart man.
He's also a very complicated man.
Yeah. I'm just saying. It's no coincidence. At any point did we think they called Order 66 for a reason other than it's supposed to be a bad thing? Because 66.
Yeah, that could definitely be part of it. 100%.
Yeah.
And I think them being like Team 99 or Squad 99 or whatever is the idea of they're the throwaways. So they're the very last team or whatever. Does that make sense? Like, these are the broken down ones. These are the defective models.
You don't think it has anything to do with the fact that it's exact inversion of 66? So like they can't carry out Order 66 and inverted 6 is a 9. Like this is the very basic, simplest level, and it has to be this. How can you not see this, Ben? I'm not even going deep. This is just simple.
If I'm writing this, I'm not thinking about Order 66. I'm thinking like, all right, this team needs some sort of designation. The Bad Batch. So they're going to be just like the last designation. So 99 sounds cooler than anything else. You know what I mean?
No,
I don't think it. I don't think they thought far enough ahead. I
don't see how you're dismissing this out of hand. Like they're nonstop throwing in references to this kind of stuff. like Star Wars in general. I don't see how you can just throw that out.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think Filoni's sitting in a room going, okay, so this is the defective batch. This is the defective batch. That's what it so Order 66, they're going to flip it. They're going to be Team 99.
That makes perfect sense. Even looking at the guy's helmet, there's no line, so it could be 66 or 99. The way that his helmet graphics are, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The big one. What's his name? Yeah, let's show it.
Wrecker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you only wear a helmet one direction. You can't wear your helmet upside down.
But the point is not that...
I need a sweater with the Bad Batch on it.
Okay.
And...
There you go. Look. This could be either 66 or 99 or 0 and 1.
I don't know. I thought of them as like eyebrows. I see eyebrows there.
It's not subtle. It's in your face constantly. And for you to not see it, it's just like, man, come on. You're smart. You're too smart. All right. What other images do we have? We have and we also have Omega.
Omega, yeah.
And I want to show you there. Dual with screen. There we go. She look at her.
Yeah.
You see what she's got on her? The only thing that makes her different is that she has a thing on her head where her third eye should be. Like all of this imagery is in Star Wars constantly in our face. And Omega, the word is, we know this from the Bible or from other occult studies, Alpha and Omega. So Omega being the feminine aspect of God or the, everything, yin and yang. Yeah. So this is important stuff. Like it's in our face. And like for us to not see it, I don't know. I feel like I have to say something. Like it just seems so obvious to me. Maybe I'm just over here in the dark, but it makes perfect sense to me.
So how do you feel like that's being used as opposed to it just being like, here are my thoughts on her being named Omega. It sounds like this whole show is diagramming how the Empire goes from clones to stormtroopers. So Omega, to me, seems like foreshadowing she's going to be the last clone, because the Kaminoans want her back so that she can be the next like source of the clones instead of Jango. That's why they hire Fennec Shand to bring her back, or at least that's what that hasn't been completely spelled out, but that's what it looks like.
Well, it could be more dubious too. The most important factor here that we're skipping out on is that she's female. So since she's female, she actually may have the ability to procreate herself, and if that's the case, then the implications of that could be she can create her own legacy or army or whatever. But not that I'm sure there's just a lot going on here. It's a lot deeper than it looks on the surface. That's my only point. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I feel like Star Wars is always pulled from other cultures and hero's journey, belief systems, all kinds of stuff. So they pull from all of these tropes. So them like using a bunch of stuff from all over the place, I don't think is going to have a more hidden meaning other than this looks cool and we can use it for our purposes.
It has to have a meaning. That's the only thing that really identifies her as different than just a regular girl, is the jewel on her forehead. It's
the whole time? Is that always on?
Yeah. And with the inverse of what that is. So that means like her third eye is probably awake or going to be awake or awakening. And then with there's all this, golly, it's just so much. It's so much. They're literally showing the inside of the heads of what is the evil guy, Crosshair? They're showing the inside of his head, and they're showing where the chip is, the inhibitor chip, and it's in his pituitary / pineal gland. So it's like in the thing that awakens in a spiritual awakening. So it's so on the nose that I don't know how I can't say anything. Like it's in your face. Yeah. So they're really talking about some serious stuff here. By the time this show ends, of course, she's going to be the enlightened trooper by the end of this thing. She's going to be the Jedi. It looks like it's going that way. She can sense things or whatever.
Right.
She can shoot without being able to know how to shoot and do those kinds of things. I don't know. I just feel like that's the way they're going with this. Wrong. Yeah. I could be reading into it. No,
absolutely. They could very well be like going for like, how do we clone force sensitive type,
it's foreshadowing that she is going to be the spiritual clone, which in this universe is a Jedi. Yeah. Okay. So it's like you said earlier, the show is about going from clones to regular stormtroopers. And
it's so funny that you pull this picture up, because in my mind, I always think of Tarkin as really tall and slender. Mm-hmm. And then you put him next to a Kaminoan, and he just looks tiny. He just looks short and stumpy. And man, perspective, right?
Yeah, these guys, they're so tall and lanky. They're so weird. And are they bad guys? You know what I mean? Like, they try to always seem to show them as just doing their own thing, but like, really, they agreed to make a bunch of killing soldiers for some Sifo Dyas guy that just showed up. You know what I mean?
Oh, they definitely operate in a gray area, 100%. There's no, I see them as being like a chaotic neutral. They'll go with the wind. They're obviously working for the Empire in this scenario, and seeing how the tide is changing, they're like, we need to get ahead of this. So I think they are propelled by two things, probably money and the science. I think the fact that they can do a thing that not a lot of other people can. So obviously, like, they're pushing forward in a sciencey kind of way, but then their ultimate motivation is, we gonna get paid.
Although they don't seem to be doing that much with their wealth. They just live on like a ship in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just, they just serve a...
Are they a native water people?
Yeah.
What's below the surface? Are they just like popping up?
And they do
dive back in.
They like what we would typically think of as an alien. They have that gray look, like stereotypical alien. Mm-hmm. Is that saying something, or is it just simple?
I feel like that's a swimmer's build, like
the fin.
Those long arms. Yeah, you can cut through that water.
The fin on the head.
I bet it's a whole like Gungan empire down below the surface of the water.
Okay.
And then they just pop up, work on some clones, drop back down.
Okay. It's not like an allusion to like aliens creating mankind or messing with mankind's DNA or any of that. But I'm reading too deep, probably. Yeah. All right.
Hey, look, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's any show is whatever you want to put into it. You know what I mean? Look, I told myself that Weezer has been dead for many years, and that they weren't putting out music, so that I could listen to their first couple albums without any like pangs of, oh, that's too bad. It's just like, nah, they didn't make anything after this, and that's okay. So whatever you want to put in or take away from a show, do it. It's like when people say, what's this song about? And they're like, it's whatever you want it to be about.
Speaking of songs, I pulled up the one that we worked on like couple years ago. We recorded it in Reaper, and so I ported it over to Studio One so I could work on it over there. There's a good chance we'll actually have another song coming out sooner than we thought because we recorded it already. So there's that.
When was this?
It was, I believe, in 2 apartments ago. I think he came over, I think when I was living on Westport.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. He played some.
Yeah. It was very open.
Yeah, it was nice. It was just a little overpriced. Yeah.
Fair.
And we didn't have, I need 2 rooms. I need 2 rooms and I got 1 right now.
Yeah.
Transition mode. All right. If you're still with us, make sure you hit that like button.
That like button. Yeah. Subscribe, maybe.
If you're on the YouTube, hit the like. You don't have to do anything else. We're asking for the bare minimum still. At this point.
If you're on the YouTube,
hit the like.
If you're on iTunes, maybe subscribe. If you're on Google,
ask yourself why.
Do something. If you're on Spotify, I think you can heart it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Give us that heart.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to even publish this.
Come on. We got to let it ride.
Got to
give the people what they want. A solid Star Wars content with a little bit of the occult.
Yeah.
No big deal.
It's in it. It's in the content.
If you're on episode 33, you know what you signed up for. What you signed up for.
Yeah.
See, you say occult, I say generic spiritualism.
Yeah, but it's in the occult. It's the occult. This stuff is hidden in your secret societies and stuff. They explain this stuff. They go into it. I'm not going to go into it here but just saying, it's in there.
You're in a dark room. They'll never find you.
They don't know my name. Oh wait. Yeah.
Oh wait. At that,
this stuff is public knowledge, right? You can
when
find
you get to Thailand.
You can look it up.
Right.
Yeah. There are meanings to these numbers. Yeah.
But do we think Star Wars is directly tapping into that?
They have to be. They always have been. They always have been.
Or do you think it is just... Don't get me wrong, like, I think George Lucas saying Order 66, but so then you're just rolling with that.
Luke, Lucifer, Rey, Shining, like all of this stuff, man. Like it's just in there. It's just in there. We got to just be okay with it at this point. It's like Hollywood just does this all the time.
That's the book. That's the book idea. Yeah. That's the book idea that you need to write. Star Wars and the occult.
It's probably been
make it happen.
Before. It's probably
Dave Filoni, give us some Star Wars dollars. I mean, come fund this.
That's why project. That episode of Rebels is so like, whoa, what? With the one with the, I'm talking about the portal to the world between worlds outside of that in the temple.
Oh,
they're going heavy. They're going hard on that stuff. Yeah. They know what they know about this. Okay. It's obvious at that point. This is what.
Right, but I'm saying, but like, there's a difference. I think there's a difference between there's this thing, and I read up on it, and I feel like that can be an interesting like story technique versus.
I'm going to simplify this for you. Okay. It's hard to deny when you see all the images over and over and over. You know.
But I think if like the Paul McCartney is dead thing. I can find clues all day long for Paul McCartney being dead.
Yeah, if you're looking for,
and some of them might have been things that the Beatles threw out there. So, and same thing for
you're gonna have the answers. Yeah,
I can argue Lee Harvey did it alone, and I can argue Lee Harvey was a patsy for a much larger thing. Mm-hmm. We can argue both of those scenarios. Ooh, is that fresh squeezed? Yep. Is that Paul's fruit?
Yeah, thank you, Paul's. I've spent at least $100 this week on oranges. Yeah.
Straight from the jug. You're going through it.
I only do it at the end. You're going straight I only drink from the jug at the end. But yeah.
Right, when you're going to close it out.
Yeah, exactly. But, so here's what. Yeah. I've been vegetarian for a week now. I've been vegetarian for a week.
How's that? How's that going? How you feeling about that?
I feel fine. I have surprisingly no desire to eat meat. But I have had this insatiable desire to eat cheese. And I don't know if it's because cheese is addictive, if it's calcium, or if it's just a certain kind of fat I need, or what, but I've just had this like really heavy craving.
I would go with the certain kind of fat you need, because that's that make you feel full kind of fat.
Yeah, so like I've broken.
That I dig.
So I did juice. I did juice for 3 days straight, 3.5. And then I broke it with cantaloupe, so I'm still in the fruit world. And then the next day I had toast. Yeah. So I definitely messed that up. But I haven't gone to meat yet. I've avoided that. Like, I'm just not really craving it. I did say I would break this when I was going to do this and go juice. And I only wanted to do it for 3 days. So I've gone beyond that. When I go back to eating food again, I thought I would break this with a steak. And I haven't been hungry for a steak. So that's strange. I'm sure at some point I'll actually just eat the steak. But yeah, it's just been, I feel lighter. I feel less bloated. Like my stomach is not as big. My wife says she thinks I lost some weight, which is strange because I'm technically, I don't know how many calories this is, but it's got to be a lot. Just a ton of.
Are you doing just fruit juices, or are you doing fruit and vegetable
just fruit juices and then I broke it.
Okay.
And now I'm eating stuff. Like I had vegetable pho last night. I had nachos twice at this point. I don't know what's up with the cheese. And a lot of fruit, cantaloupe, and mostly fruit and fruit juice. Like when it's so much easier.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sugar in there. It's all natural sugars, which is good, but it's still sugar.
Because when you get hungry, you just go, I'll just grab some orange juice. You don't have to like figure out where you're going to eat or make a meal, or it's a lot more simple. And I also, another weird craving I had was chocolate. So I've been eating like bites of 85% dark chocolate.
Dig it.
Yeah. So that's been strange, but yeah.
I tell you, a fun part about working at the bar is that I've got to peel an orange or two pretty much every shift.
Yeah.
But then the poor kid in me, who doesn't like to waste food, is like, am I going to eat these 2 oranges?
Yeah, you could juice those.
I could juice them. That's not a bad idea. I could just put them in a tub and then bring them home and then juice them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been like strategically being like
$12 for half a gallon of oranges.
Right. Yeah, cuz I'm like peeling this orange and then I'm like like there was one day where I had 3 3 like little plastic containers with peeled oranges in the refrigerator at the bar. And the bar does not have a whole lot of refrigerator space. So I'm just like shoving this in there because I'm just like, don't be wasteful. And so I've had to throw away a couple of oranges, and it just breaks my heart every time. So I'm like strategically, okay, don't eat before you go in because you might have to peel an orange, and then you get to eat the orange afterward.
I'm thinking maybe we moved into the wrong house. Maybe we should have moved into your house, and we could save so many oranges. Think about all the oranges we could save. You could juice them, and you could use the peels. Yeah, strange. Yeah, because I throw away the peels when I juice the oranges.
Right.
Yeah.
Could have a whole symbiotic relationship.
Yin and yang, alpha and omega.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this Rancor in episode 5.
Oh, yeah. This guy.
You watch the episode, and this is a very Mandalorian episode. Mm-hmm. This is you need some information? Well, I need a task done first. Like, just really just pulling it over from the other show. And reeling it in. We're going to go full-blown side mission.
Let's bounty hunters as well. Why not? Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll call them mercenaries so you don't think it's the exact same thing. But yeah.
Definitely. Yes. Mercenaries. Yes. So yeah, this guy, it's a Rancor. Fun. That's a fun callback. And then you find out it's the Rancor. The Rancor. And as I'm looking at this child Rancor, and I know that Luke murders it later on down the road. Do I feel bad? Do I feel bad now that I've seen it as a child?
Do you think, because in my mind a little bit, I feel like they're setting up Star Wars to make the Empire the good guys?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's...
I feel like
I don't think that's the plan of the show.
Not now, but maybe like in 5-10 years, flip everything around so that, the government is the good guys.
No way. No. I don't see that happening. That would be such a... I could see, like, maybe having a sympathetic character who is in the Empire somewhere.
Yeah. They had the whole book novel series about... Claudia Gray wrote this series called Lost Stars, where they had characters on both sides that fell in love, so it was more sympathetic.
Fun.
Yeah. So it was sympathetic to that side. Like, they're just dudes, right? Like, you just wake up,
right,
and you're in the planet that's inhabited by the Empire, so you don't think anything of it.
Right. You get signed up at an early age, and then you're working for them, and it's a steady check, and I get it. Yeah. I totally get it. But I think that there's a tough task to completely shift, like, the arc of the whole thing.
They undermined Luke in what is it? The Last Jedi, making him a weaker character, making room for Palpatine's granddaughter to be the savior. And this is where I was wanting to go about this whole thing. Do I want to go here, though?
Yeah.
He is, for whatever reason, not only in Hollywood's doing this quite a bit, but Star Wars specifically, since Disney has bought it, has done nothing but create female heroes that surpass and supplant the man. And I have nothing wrong with that in general. If there was a story about a woman that like had to come in and save a man, and that was the story, that would be fine. It's just strange that they're repeating this trope over and over in every story. You have, what's her name?
Kira.
Yeah, Kira. She ends up saving the day. Force Awakens, whatever, 7, 8, 9, Rey saves the day. Where even initially it looked like it was going to be Finn being the ultimate hero, or Kylo Ren's flipping, but instead it was Rey saves the day. What other movies has the
Rogue One?
Rogue One. Same thing. What's her name?
He wants to say Stardust, but that's not a real name. Jyn Erso.
Yeah, Woo! Jyn Erso. Yeah, female lead comes in, saves the day. So and then now we're getting it again. There's a
oh boy.
Yeah, but now we're getting it again in Bad Batch with Omega. She's always coming in and saving these guys. There's 5 of them. 5 of these super hyper trained special elite guys, and they always need Omega to come in and save them. What is going on here? Am I crazy?
Yeah, like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't care so much because there's still plenty of male characters coming through. Mandalorian is still a very like male dominated show.
Sure. And it did have, though, at the same time, though, it did have those female characters come in and have the little scene. And I don't have a problem, like I said, I don't have a problem with it on any individual basis. It's just strange that it just keeps reemerging itself. And it's reemerging itself as women showing masculine traits instead of classically or even stereotypical.
So what masculine traits is Omega other than
Blaster?
shooting a gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, masculine traits instead of traditional feminine traits. And I think actually this is a good opportunity for them to come around and show ultimately feminine traits with Omega, but she'll have to grow up quite a bit. So we'll have to be in like season 3 or 4 for her.
So what would you describe as being like an acceptable feminine trait for her to
just going basic, like stereotypical feminine traits are mother type traits. So having a child, those kinds of things. You know, every woman that I know has a thing happen every month. And that's not really addressed that often in film, or it's not, but it happens every month. These women go through this process and they still kick ass. It makes them even stronger, I think, if you mention these things, because they have to go through that cycle and still kick ass. Whereas, so like embracing that at some point, like the motherhood, I think that would be a powerful step. And if that's where they're going with Omega, I think that's like next level elevating women. Instead of elevating women as coming in and doing the same thing that men do, or stereotypical men do, and saying, hey, look at these women, they did the stereotypical male thing, they're just as good as men. Why not elevate them as women and as mothers? I think that would be very powerful.
But do you want, the scary thing about that is that you can get down the road of, do women only have value if they have babies?
Of course not. But I'm saying, but what I'm saying,
some people can't do that thing. So
understand.
Then what are you saying to them? So having strong female characters who, like, at the end of the day, it is Star Wars, not Star peacetime and everything's okay. So there's just going to be fighting. That's part of it. That's part of the whole thing.
The High Republic may want to argue with you a little bit, but yeah, it is.
That's true. No, and so maybe the High Republic is an opportunity to like really see.
But there's a reason it's not doing so well. There's not a lot of,
because there's no wars part of it. It's everybody's. It's like as much as I enjoy the America Civil War. Like Captain America Civil War, where they're like arguing over the pros and cons of the Sokovia Accords. Like, those are some of my favorite scenes of, like a real spirited dialogue of what about this angle? What about this angle? That is a lot of fun, but that ain't going to sell a whole lot of tickets to the Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like, that's a different movie. That's probably produced by Fox Searchlight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the courtroom drama.
Exactly. So, right. Yeah. This is we need to put this at 10 p.m. on ABC and maybe we'll get some viewers.
No, I get that there's different perspectives and everybody has their own journey, but I'm just saying I'm not a woman, but I'm pretty sure any woman that has children will say that's the most important thing that ever happened to them. You
also see through other characters that things like family are important. Like you see the clone, it was episode 3, episode 2, where Omega is about to go live with this clone in this family that he's created with them.
Yeah, I thought that was very powerful. That's what society would tell you is the right thing to do, is make sure this kid has a family and a home to go to.
Exactly.
Whereas what they knew internally and like spiritually, if you will, they knew that they were supposed to be together.
There's obviously like Omega has this like greater purpose that we haven't completely locked in on yet. We'll see. At least what I liked is that really quick they gave everybody the opportunity to say like, all right, you snuck on board and you're part of the team and we get it, but you could have this normal kid life if you wanted it. And she chose the Bad Batch.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that about Star Wars, is when people get to make their own decisions and take control of their own life. Luke does that in a way he didn't have a choice, in a way he did. He could have just stayed on Tatooine and restarted the moisture farm. You know what I mean?
Yep. Absolutely.
He could have been just sad and just stayed there, been miserable. So
do you think there's a book out there for like how the moisture farm works? Do you think someone's gone through the process of, all right, moisture farm on a desert, this is what you need?
I'm guessing those structures are basically just giant dehumidifiers.
So wait, they're drawing it in?
Yeah, from the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're listening, hit us up with how moisture farms work, if you know.
We have a dehumidifier in the basement, and it absorbs moisture from the air, and then, like in the bucket, there's this giant tub of water. You got 2 gallons of water after a couple of days. In the desert, you're going to have a bigger structure because there's less moisture in the air.
Yeah, because you're not drawing it from the sand.
I mean, that would also make sense. You could. Maybe that's how Star Wars moisture farms work. And if you're right, if somebody knows, leave us a comment. Yeah. Is it coming from the air or is it drawing it up from the ground or both? Because they're in the ground and in the air.
Right.
Yeah. Something we haven't known. As much talk of moisture farms there is, as much, I'm talking like Yoda now. We don't know how the moisture is farmed. Yeah.
How does one farm moisture? What does the motivator do in the droid?
Yeah, farm moisture you must. Oh, God.
Oh, so this is fun because the Sid character is voiced by Rhea Perlman. So that one took me a minute.
Oh, it's not voiced by a real alien?
No, I just thought...
Them on Twitter. They did not cast an alien in this role. They're reappropriating aliens. Cancel her now. No, go ahead. Excuse me.
You're so worried about the canceling.
No. Oh, you know who I like?
Yeah,
you know
from Cheers.
Who is this person?
No,
I don't know the actress.
She was on Cheers. She was Danny DeVito's wife for a while.
The one with the black hair?
Yeah, with the black curly hair.
Oh, she's still around? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been showing up in stuff lately. So for her to pop up in a Star Wars cartoon, I was just like, wild.
Maybe a friend of the Favreau or something.
Maybe.
Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think in my mind, in the back of my head, like in another lifetime, like if I could go back like 10 years, 20, I think I would.
Yeah.
Like when I came out of audio engineering school,
yes.
I wanted to go work at Lucasfilm at Skywalker Sound. Like that was what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, why didn't I try a little harder? Like,
right.
I feel like that would have been fun. Like getting into this ecosystem and maybe contributing something. I feel like I might be able to contribute something to this. Yeah.
Right. No, absolutely.
That would be fun.
Yeah. You would have had to move to California.
Great weather.
Great weather.
High taxes.
Absolutely great weather. High taxes, true.
It's like
bustling economy.
Yeah. On some fronts. High homeless.
Yeah, but you can live on the beach.
Yeah, I could just
Be homeless.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, I get it if you're like, nobody plans on being homeless. But if you get to a point, man, got to get down to one of those places where there's beaches.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be.
Yeah.
Like people who are like homeless in Canada, man.
F that. Yeah.
That's got to be brutal.
No.
You got to get down. You got to get down south, friend.
Yeah, just wake up, go jump in the ocean, take yourself a saltwater bath. Yeah. Yeah.
Beach bum life.
That's another thing. Yeah. We're just going to go into all the weird stuff and stuff.
We could talk about how Governor Tarkin is voiced by a guy who didn't voice him in Rogue One.
What's up about that? What's up with that?
I don't know. But it's the same guy who voiced him on like Rebels and Clone Wars. But I guess they got a different voice for Rogue One.
Did they voice him in Rogue One with the guy that played him, stood in for him?
I think so.
That makes sense.
I think it is the guy that stood in for him.
Yeah, because like they synced his mouth up to that performance. If they used if they did it like there, like use the boom mic and everything, then they wouldn't have to voice over him or whatever. But ADR.
True.
But they may have ADR'd him as well. You know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But maybe that could have been in his contract. If I'm gonna be on set, I want to be the voice.
Right.
That could have been a thing.
I'm still blown away by Rogue One.
Really
with him,
love it. Yeah.
With Tarkin, Leia was a little bit Polar Express, but I felt like Tarkin was just so close.
Yeah.
To the point where there were people that we went with who were like, "Wait, that guy wasn't real?"
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah, I could tell for me very clearly on the big screen, but on my TV, which is also fairly big, it's harder to tell. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you watch it on like TNT or something like that, where it's just like everything's just like a couple of grades lower.
Right. 720p.
If you pop in the Blu-ray or something, then it's
you can't. Yeah, so it probably had something to do with the actor's contract. And then they can't pay that guy the same scale that they can pay a voiceover artist to come in and do this. They got to pay him more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Yep. See, I have something to offer. I have something to offer Lucasfilm. So if you don't want me to throw out all your occult secrets here, I'm for sale.
Put in an application.
I'm for sale. What's next?
What else we got?
Okay, so sniper guy, what is his name? Crosshairs. So yeah, Crosshair. So Crosshair, did he have this distinctly evil voice in the episodes before? Or
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Like he's got that like deliberate like I'm gonna murder everyone.
Yeah,
he's got that. Yeah, he's always had that
in my sight.
Yeah.
There's a hole
so
in
using
their
him
head.
as the one who's like inhibitor chip still works. I thought was an interesting play.
Yeah, it just makes it easier to follow because this show is also for children, so
Mm-hmm.
it makes it easier
Definitely.
to follow. What do you think about the Caleb Dune? We talked about it a little bit, but the
Oh right, yeah. That's what's his name?
Kanan.
Kanan. Yeah. I didn't initially put that together. Actually, honestly, it might have even been like I don't know. It might have been either like some like cursory Googling before we like talked about it, or it might have been like you might have been the one who told me about it.
Yeah,
So it took me a minute.
yeah. So we're like connecting with other Star Wars characters in the larger universe in a very just
Right.
low key way. Oh,
Yeah,
we got
there's
to
a
do
lot
what
of-
are we going to use? Oh, let's use Caleb. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of tying of
We want to
of
have a
ends that-
Rancor. Well, which one should we use? Let's use the Rancor. Let's
Right,
use the
right.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, like at this point, like Saw Gerrera has now shown up in three
Everything?
different animated series plus a movie. So yeah, having some strong tie-ins.
Yeah. It
Do
feels
you like
connected.
the
yeah.
show?
Do I like the show?
Are you enjoying watching it?
I don't mind.
Does
yeah.
it feel like a chore?
This last episode was a little bit of a chore. It was such a side quest, but
Yep.
I am curious to see where they go with Omega because, like I said, the implications of her name being Omega and having the symbol there, they're going to have to go somewhere with her.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Chosen one type stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Definitely. I could see her being the end of the Kaminoans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she
It's
could
not like-
she could turn, she could be a bad guy for us later. So many things could happen.
Yeah. It's just that we don't hear anything about clones, from the original trilogy on. So
Does she decimate them all? Yeah. Or do
is
they,
she the end of the clones? Who knows?
Yeah. Do they put I wonder if they can use their chips, their inhibitor chips to like just murder the clones. Is there like a murder button?
Oh, like a rage chip?
Yeah.
that just-
like Tarkin's like,
Man, who knows?
F this. These guys are useless. It's just the irony of it is that everybody he hires can't shoot, So I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Like
as-
knowing in the long term that this doesn't work out for him.
yeah. Yeah. So I'm curious
In
how
multiple
that's,
ways.
yeah, how his decision, and maybe this Bad Batch is part of his decision making process. Like seeing the Bad Batch be so anti whatever, he'll be worried that maybe the other clones will turn or whatever. So it's let's just groom some people from infancy to become mind controlled through schooling.
Yes. I tell you, those last couple episodes of Clone Wars with Ahsoka and Maul were just so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if I hold the show up to that, we're not there yet.
No, we're not close.
But if you're holding it up to I'm enjoying it as much as those non-tentpole episodes of Clone Wars.
yeah,
If that makes sense.
it's not hard to watch because it's short, so it doesn't
Yep.
it's not too much of a pain. If these episodes were like 45 minutes, I might be like, okay, this is a chore. But it's short.
Whereas the
It's
Mandalorian
like-
episodes, I want to be 45 minutes long.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
feel once you get in a groove on those Mandalorian episodes,
Yeah.
except for the last two, they like extend a little bit, and that's nice.
Yeah, it's like for some reason you're interested in what the missions are that Mando's going on. Like you're invested in the character. Whereas, yeah, I'm still not quite like super invested in these characters. And as much as I talk trash about Omega, or did, I don't know, but that is the most interesting character in the story. Otherwise, it's just some rogue clones. So
Yeah, I am having a lot of fun with Wrecker. I feel like Wrecker is a lot of fun.
he's pretty. He has his moments. He's pretty hilarious on accident. Yeah.
Yeah, similar to Zeb. Was that his name?
Yeah, it reminds me of Zeb.
Yeah.
It sounds like the same guy. Yeah. His voice.
True,
Is very similar.
yeah. Oh yeah, did D. Bradley Baker voice Zeb? Oh, I'll look it up for next episode.
The next episode. Speaking of which,
Two
what are we doing?
guys googling stuff.
What are we doing on the next episode? Do we have a direction?
Man, I have
for
no
this show?
idea.
Yeah. So next week, maybe leave a comment. Let us know what we should even talk about.
You tell us what to talk
Tell
about.
us what to talk about. Tell us to stop recording this. What if we do
I'm not sure.
What if we do a live show?
Live show.
Like we just stream it to Facebook or whatever, or YouTube or one of them.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we could
Sure,
maybe
why
get
not?
some like real time feedback, or like have another guest pop
Who
in.
knows?
We should have a guest.
Sure.
I don't know. Why is this such a weird? We've been so out of the flow. We missed the whole episode, basically. We missed
yeah.
the week. that we're sort of out of the flow.
Right.
Yeah. This is a weird one, but yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I like the weird ones.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, we'll see you next week then, I guess. And thank you for doing this. Thanks for hopping on here, talking to me, listening to my theories and whatnot. And see you in the next one next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.